Boom! And just like that, we are live. It's your dude, Uncle Leroy. Don't say the Leroy without the Junior, and of course. Hanging out with me is none other than my host, partner in crime. Bam! My man, they got you all big faced on there, man. What's good? How's it going? Man, facts. Welcome back. And you know what? And talking about being back at the good. Look, man, I'm telling you. Look, wait, is that you? I had to make sure, I got my other eyes on to make sure that I can see you. But, man, on Friday we normally do, we got the culture report coming up next. But before we got that show, we definitely got a treat. We got a professional MMA fighter. And, some might know him as Chocolate Thunder. Some might know him as Shedrick Goodridge. But, hey, we got him here today, and he's going to let you know who he is himself. Wow. Can you hear me? What's up, man?
There we go.
Look, appreciate you for hanging out. Cooling, man. Cooling. Appreciate you for hanging out. Where you hanging out with us at?
I just got off the train not too long ago. I had a session earlier down in Hensel Gracie in Jersey City. So, rocking the shirt. There we go. Chill Town.
Nice.
Gracie. So just getting back not too long ago. Headed to the house right now. But,
nice.
Gotta get this work.
Yes, sir. So, where you calling that from? Because you're saying a train. So, I'm out here in Dallas. So we got our train. But so, what city you calling in from?
Rahway, New Jersey.
I got a partner. Shout out to my homie Gene. You know what I'm saying? The Jersey Cats. You know what I'm saying? Jersey. Hold on. Look, stop right there by Timbos. You got some Timbos out?
Yeah, Jersey up.
Real, you know what I'm saying? So, yes, sir. So, what part of Jersey? What's known for you out there?
Jersey, we kind of we're next to the city, so we kind of get thrown in that same bunch.
Yeah.
Like New Yorkers, Jersey, this and that. But I mean, we're one of a kind out here. So
I'm gonna tell you what's funny because they say New Jersey is supposed to be the clean part of New York. And I had shout out to the band, I had shout out to Gravity State University. We had played Hampton out there. And it was kind of weird. I was walking, it was nice, very nice neighborhood. And then I hit a corner, it was buku trash and just buku random people walking. So it's how they go out there?
It's certain areas. I ain't gonna speak for all of it. It's certain areas, It's a little rugged out here. It's a little rugged out here. But that's the thing about Jersey. You get your little splish and splash everywhere, If you want your ruggedness, head up down Newark.
Right.
If you want your Jersey Shore vibe, you remember the whole you go
all right.
You go deep south.
All right. So we go out to Jersey. What can we do out there? Because I'm planning on taking a trip whenever this COVID stops or permits. What is something we can do out there in Jersey? What you recommend? The food? Is it the atmosphere? I hear Atlantic City.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
my man. No.
Yeah. That's where we fight most of the time down in Atlantic City. But if you want to go down there, if you're a real casino head or whatnot, Atlantic City's where you go. We got the Strip, whole bunch of places you can go to. It's never a dull moment down there. You walk into some wild shit.
Hey.
Time. And then the cultural part, I kind of feel like where I just came from, Jersey City or whatnot, because it's a good feel down there. You still get that city vibe, but it's still Jersey. It's like Jersey City, Union City. You get to see the piers, waterfront, all that.
I'm gonna tell you what I actually got a chance to see: how dirty the Statue of Liberty is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was looking with him in the airplane. I'm looking like. That ain't the Liberty. That ain't the statue I see on TV, man.
They get it from a distance. It's from a distance.
Facts. But we're gonna get right into this, man. So one thing that I definitely want to know before we get right into it, who's the top rappers? What's your favorite artist? When you get into this training mode, who you listen to?
You know what? It's wild because honestly, it's like whatever I'm feeling at that moment. Like sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll just be like in the mood, like I gotta get pumped. So like today we was jamming a little bit of T.I.
Okay, y'all got that Southern stuff down there.
Yeah. No, it's all over. We get it all. So it's like it's just like a flow. Sometimes, like I remember one of my fights, for some reason, I was just here chilling, and I was like, I need to calm down. Start listening to slow jams. I was like, let me calm down.
Wait, you say listen to slow jams?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, the music is a big part of preparation for me. I don't know why. Like people say, oh, yeah, the weight cut is very hard, this and that. Like picking my walkout song because it gotta fit me. It has to speak the vibe to the fight I'm walking into.
Right. Wait, hold on. Now I want to bring this in. Let's. I got something for you. Cause this is how I knew we had to get you on the show. When we seen this here, when we seen this. Now watch this. Watch this. It wasn't until that Lil Wayne came on that she was in that thing like,
Word. I'm telling you, you feel the vibe. Today I was going with my boys and the main instructor over Jersey City.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Look, you hitting them too. Pop.
Yeah.
Look, hey, you know what I'm saying? So how is that?
The music is something different. Like today, I was going with give a shout out Sparky over at Hensel Gracie Jersey City. He's the owner and lead instructor over there. We were sparring today, and then next thing you know, little Bop came. T.I. ain't I popped on.
Yeah,
we didn't even notice it. But like we started bopping to it, like while we're sparring.
Yeah.
We just sitting there like, yeah. I was like, oh, all right, let's go. And then we started kicking up.
Nice. So how do you integrate that? Because see, that seems like an art because, like just the fact that, you integrate, you're making it fun. So, how do you make your training fun like that?
It's like you got it. It's always the environment. For the environment, like, because this is how I look at it, right? When with training, being a fighter, having to like, what you got to understand is you spend more time with these people that are around you than you do your own family. Because you're getting into camp and now this person is helping you moderate your weight. This person is helping you work on your striking. This person's here for your jiu-jitsu, so you end up spending multiple hours with them, and it's like, all right, bam, I'll go to work. After work, I'm going straight to the gym. Now I'm at the gym. I spend most of my time at the gym. I get home, either everybody sleep or they're on their way to sleep, this and that. You wake up the next morning, you got to get your morning workout in. So once you get that connection with the guys that you're working with, it turns into like, it's always a good vibe. Once you got that good vibe, like I always love enjoying practice.
See, when you talk about that good vibe, that's how like when I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, when I got it like just right, like, oh man, that thing is hitting. So I'll get that with y'all there. But so and it's kind of weird. So is that how you decide which gym you're going to join or you're going to train at? Like, is it the vibe that you go, or is it the people, or what is it?
It has to be the vibe, and that you're getting what your full fulfillment. So when it turns into that, like you can go to a spot and you can have the good vibe, but you're not getting what you need to get to that next level. And sometimes that happens with fighters. Fighters sit there and like, oh yeah, it's a great, like I love it, this and that, but you're not getting the work you need to get. So when you can get that you're comfortable to be you and get that great training where it's just like at the end of practice, y'all are sitting there like making life decisions. Like, damn, man, this shit is real today.
Yeah.
Like, you trying to eat that? Yeah, let's wait a little bit. Like, like it's like you need that.
So do you think those bonds come from there and extend beyond the cage? Because I'm in a band, so I relate a lot of things in bands. So just like in football, there's their own club, own culture, and is it a fighter's culture? Like, how is that? Like, is it your own? You create the bond there and it exceeds outside the gym.
Yeah, it has to. It turns into a mini family, because if like, all right, so I look at it like this, right? I'm stepping into a cage, right? Yeah, I'm a fighter. Yeah, I'm about it. Anybody can get it. But you sit there and you look at it, you gotta have like, these are also the people that are outside, and they are like, technically they have a part of your life in their hands, because you're trusting them to sit down and analyze what they're seeing and what you might not be able to see, because of the fact the adrenaline, you got the crowd, you got this going on, you got him switching stances, this and that. And for them to be able to see it on the outside and then relate it to you in between rounds, and or like, I've seen this a couple of times where fighters, like, that towel needs to get thrown in and dudes are just sitting back, and I'm like, yo, bro, I gotta get home to my kids. Like, y'all are tripping. Like, because at the end of the day, you can't ask no fighter to give up. A true fighter, he's not gonna be like, oh yeah, like, if you ask me, if I'm in the middle of the round and I know I'm getting my ass beat, and you're like, yo, what do you want to do? I'm gonna sit back and be like, it takes one punch. But for the people that are outside of the cage, for them to sit there and be like, yo, nah, I'm calling it. Like, you haven't showed me nothing, or boom, yo, if you don't show me nothing within the first 20 seconds of this round, I'm calling this fight. So it has to be deeper than just the in-gym training. Like, that's how I look at it. Some people, they try to keep,
because they can help you from being hurt and being injured, or even life in that situation. So, like, I'm following what you're saying. So, your life is in the background. What you say, Coach Lee?
Mm-hmm. Hey, so safety sound like it's always in the background. Can you hear me?
He said that
safety. So it sounds like safety is always in the background.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be, because we are in a violent sport. Like, yes, it's a sport. Yes, we are athletes, but at the end of the day, like, I'm not going in there to hug and like, I'm trying to take your head off, just like you trying to take my head off.
Literally though, because I hear being in the bands, and I'll be hearing some football play like, I'm gonna take your head off and do all this, but you really mean that stuff though.
Yeah, like, this is literal. Like,
wait, hold on a second. Wait, you ain't mad at me, right? We good? We good?
Because literally, you sit there and you look at it like this, right? Like, and on the regional circuit, it's all about like, yo, can you sell tickets? How many people can you fill in? I'm not trying to get knocked out in front of my friends and family. Like, so, like, at the end of the day, you walk out there, you like, I know this dude is like, that's one thing with, like, I feel like some fighters will be like, oh yeah, I'm never nervous, all this other shit. Kill yourself. You're lying. Everybody gets nervous. Like, it is what it is. Like, you ask any of my boys, they're like, oh nah, I said a ride, all this other shit. But that walk to the cage, like, and that's why I go back to the whole music part. That's why I go back to the whole music part. Because when the music drops, that gets me in my comfort zone, so that I'm not freaking all the way out. I'm out there like, damn, I was smart in school. Like, I could do this and that. I'm out there.
Well, yeah, but life decision.
All these people.
Right,
like,
I could go. I look, I'm thinking I'm making occupational decisions. I should be a teacher. Screw this.
But then the one thing is, like, as soon, but it's wild because as soon, right after that, they go, you see your teammates, you take your shirt off or whatnot, you see your coach, your teammates, you piece them up, the ref checks you before you go in, and then you walk in the cage. I feel like.
Hold on, wait, because we got to get to that. I still got one more question before we get on your walkthrough. I can't. We got to keep the audience like that. So, question with your trainer. Back to the train. So, do you self-isolate? Like, because I see, I know you're a family man, and shout out to you on that. And so how do you navigate that? This is what you said. Like keeping your kids, your family away from seeing you get violently hurt. So, with you training, and do you still use your same lifestyle? Eat have the same diet, use your same routine, or do you self-isolate from all the distractions and you change your diet, you just buckle down, or does that vary per fight?
All right, so for me, it varies towards how close the fight is. So what I normally do, I start to break down shit slowly here and there, like if I sign the contract, I am now in fight camp. Because sometimes we're like, oh yeah, we'll fight that. If there's no contract, there's technically no fight. I need the contract. So once I sign the contract, now I'm in camp leading up to the fight. So from my regular routine, it starts to vary. It starts to slow down when I get closer to the fight. That's when it's just like I start to kind of like isolate myself because sometimes we have to get in that mood. You're about to go in a cage with another person, so you got to kind of like get that somewhat like even I sit there and I'm always smiling, but you got to have like that. You got to have that switch. That's some type of like,
right.
Oh yeah, a bit of
You're
like
warrior.
delicious.
Like some like a gladiator, so it's like, okay, let's sit here and talk to you, but boom, it's like, in fight, because that's when when we interview different fighters, it's like that bell. They listen for that bell and it clicks them in that, in that mode. So I'm following with you on that.
Yeah. So it's like, that's literally how it is. The closer the fight gets, because then also I'm also cutting more weight and I'm more irritated because I'm not eating my full meals or whatnot. I'm hungry and shit. So,
hey, I like that. So
like,
they take
do my thing.
In a wild sense. So it's like they're taking the meat from the predator, taking the meat from the wolf and feeding it nuts and grass. So, you're real hungry, and now it's like you want meat. And so they let you loose in the cage. So, man. All right. So one thing that, that separates fighters from any other sport is what you say. And that's very impressive, is how y'all just manage your weight like that. See, I'm a little dude. Well, no. I'm a big old dude. I ain't gonna say that. I'm a big old dude. But, you know what I'm saying? But I've been the same way. I've been the same way since college. And it was like, oh man, you just got to, do weight gain. So I was on weight gain, eating like 4 times a day, doing this and ain't gained 9 pounds. Then it was like, oh, wait till your metabolism slow down in your 30s. I'm about to be 40, still the same size. So how do you do that? So how do you manage that?
It's wild though, because they normally say, oh, your metabolism's fast, this and that when you're younger and all this. Honestly, as I gotten older, it's gotten easier for me to make weight. Like, I used to have trouble making weight. Like, for some instance, it used to kill me. My last 4 camps, I'm just like, I'm on weight the day before, like chilling. I could eat breakfast the next day. So it's kind of like you got to have the right nutritionist, it goes back to the team. You got to have the right people around you. Because then, like, sometimes they got dudes that, like, literally, I used to train with this one dude that would he took it to, like, the next level. It was, like, scientifically would break down how to get down to weight. And he was about 6'1", like, and kind of like a stocky dude would get down to 155 pounds. That would be, and not look super skinny. He would be like, I'm like, yo, he looked at me one time, like the first time, because I switched gyms, when I went over there, what's up, bro? What's up? Yeah. So I went up there.
Well, hold on. We can't just let you just ride past that. So you cool, nah? You know, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, you 5 on the back hand side. You cool.
So I went up there, right? And he was like, oh, like he looked at me because we were like the same size. He was like, oh, so you fighting at 55?
Oh, wow.
What's wrong with you? No, I haven't been 155 since my freshman year of high school. I'm not doing that. It's like, yeah, bro, no, I'll break it down. I got like the right vitamins and the fish. Everything I eat is, I'm like, nah. Like, yo, some dudes take it to like a whole nother level. And I'm just like, y'all can have that. I'm gonna diet right, get my weight down, and then I'm gonna be all right.
I'm gonna be all right. Look, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I forgot he sound like that old Cass, but I'm gonna be all right. But hey, you know, we got more action. So, you know, people want to know where you got this your nickname Chocolate Thunder from. And so, you know, in my mind, wait, hold on, wait, because in my mind, I think it's this. Do you hear that? Bro, I'm scared. Look at this. Look at that. What? Do you see the dents being made in this thing, man? You shake that man is like twice your size and you moving him. So, like, yeah, I want you to see that. Look at it. And so, you know, one time, you know, I broke a knuckle. I punched him in the forehead and all this hurt, but you not hurting any of this, any of your fists, any of your forearm. Look, he tired. He like, look, bro, say, bro, I take 10. Like, he needed to go. We gonna let the homie take a break, but you gotta let us know.
All right.
So how do you get?
Huh?
No, I'm listening. Finish. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that all goes to like all the power you see knows. That all goes to Coach Hollywood. Like that's Handel Bell, but we call him Hollywood. You know, but he like literally his thing is dig the body, and he will break your mechanics down to where you got people making career changes mid-fight to where you sitting there, you land one of those body shots, it's like, oh, yep, this is not for me. I'm done. Like, literally.
Like, taxi! Look, y'all keep my bags. Look, straight to the airport, I'm out of here.
I'm out. Like, yo, like the way he breaks stuff down in his mechanics to where it's like, I can throw a body shot just to do so, like just off the rip. It all comes down to him, and like it's like they say, boxing is a sweet science, and the way he breaks it down to know the mechanics of my body. That all I gotta do is just turn my body over this way, and it goes from a short punch to a punch pushing you back, and it's not from the amount of pressure I put. It's just from how I pivot my foot. So it's like the way he breaks it down is a whole nother level. But the Chocolate Thunder thing, I ain't picked that name off rip. So
all right, I hope, because I was hoping it wasn't no stage name or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, I was hoping. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I was hoping. So all right, now we got that out. We can talk about what the real.
All right, so now my first coach, he is notorious for wild nicknames. And the way things happen with like, all right, so with the fights, right? What they do is the announcer will come over and he'll ask, like, he'll normally talk to the fighters and be like, oh yeah, what's your record? Where you fighting out of? Like, so he knows how to like break everything down. I was hitting pads on the other side, so the announcer went to the head coach, and he thought it was funny to go be like, oh yeah, nah, this is Chocolate Thunder. I didn't find out my name was Chocolate Thunder until I was in the cage about to fight when they said my name.
What?
So, yeah, that's exactly
his nickname.
That's exactly how it went down. I'm standing there, and then they go, the dude goes, fight out of Rahway, New Jersey, Shedrick, Chocolate Thunder. I'm like, oh, he did that. I didn't think it was like, oh my goodness. I was just like, bro. And what didn't help that whole situation with the name was my first ever fight, I finished the dude in 27 seconds. So now they're like, oh, that Chocolate Thunder dude. Yeah, he good. I'm like, man, freak that. We're changing it for the next one. Again, he did it again. I ended up finishing the next dude in like 1 minute and 10 seconds. Nice. So everybody starts, oh, that's that Chocolate Thunder dude. That's that Chocolate Thunder. So I said, man, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to just embrace it. Free it.
Right.
Free it. Might as well.
But it's what, like in Gladiators, you know, when the pit gives you the name, it sticks with you, you know? So people, you know what I'm saying? The people gave the name and stuck with you. Can't shake loose from it, Pop. You know what I'm saying? It's all up.
I couldn't.
Talking about.
I'm like, yo, bro, you a grown man. You know my real name. You can call me Cedric. You don't have to say Chocolate Thunder, CT. Say Cedric. They say my whole name with the thing. I never forget. I was in my town. Like, all right, so we have a spot in my town. It's called Meatballs. It's a bar. You know, they sell food and all this. I'm in there, and it was karaoke.
Hey, shout out to you, Roosevelt.
I walk in. The dude goes and sees. He's like, "Are you Chocolate Thunder?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's me." Yeah.
Hey, well, at least you know you got a workaround. So if the fight doesn't go, you know what I'm saying, you can always use that nickname at, you know, in the nightlife. Yeah. But man, so you know, right now we get back to the walk-up experience. So you know, we got how you chose your music, and I had an opportunity to be at a couple of MMA fights. You know, they were amateur, and so you know, we see the people behind the stages. You know, because we all VIP, so we sitting right there about a walk-up. So one thing that surprised me, of course, is, you know, like you say, they like this. The dude was talking to us. He was like, oh, you know, because we right at the table. Then it's like he left here, and then he came to that point where they check you, I guess. So what is that? And that's when he got into that mode. Like, he had to do this. They did this and something. And the dude just clicked out after that. Like, what is it?
It's weird.
Do you get trained? Do you get trained for it to come on? Because it was like the cage is right here. You walking like he was just regular. But once he came here where they patted him down, it was just then the next step was the stairs and there was a cage. Are you trained to be prepared right there?
Nah, that's just when you gotta know it's about to go down. It's real now. Like, you can't go anywhere else. Like you're like. You can't turn around and say, "Oh, I can't do this." You've already made the walk, like, so now. Yeah, like, I mean, if you only knew some of the stories that have gone down at fights, dudes disappearing right before it's time to fight. Like, once you make that walk, it's like you got to get right. So for me, it was more of a like I say, for the walk, the music is supposed to help me like fix the nerves, right? But the nerves are still there. Then when you say, like, you're pretty much saying, I'm getting ready for war with your teammates, your coach, and then after you break off of that, when you're standing in front, so when you put your arms out, he's literally just checking to make sure you're not all greased up and whatnot. Okay. And he makes sure you have your mouthpiece in and you're wearing a cup. Once he says, like, mouthpiece, cup, time to get busy. So
let's get it home.
Like, and it's weird. I feel it every time, every single time. Once it's past that, I walk into the cage. It's like the switch. Not gotta fight. The camera was already in my face on the walk up. Who am I to go home and be like, I couldn't do it no more? I just I got to fight. Like,
so that's your mindset.
That door closed. Yeah, once the door closes, it's like I like to fight. Like, I like to feel like my back is like I gotta fight to get out. So it's just like that door closes. Like, you're in between, because the way they break down the purses, you get a show purse, so you get your payment for making weight and showing up, and then you get your fight bonus, your win bonus. So now it's just like, this man is in the way of me taking home my other half. I gotta get right.
Nice. So, like, all right. So if let's say you're an animal, what mindset? What the mindset that you have once that cage closed and you're ready to fight and engage this person? What animal would you say you are at that point?
A wolf.
Why the comparison?
Because it's a prey thing. Like, at the end of the day, like, that man has to be my prey now. And like, most people say, they're like, oh, like lions, tiger, this or that. But you tell me the last time you ever saw a wolf in a circus? You tell me the last time you ever saw a wolf in a circus? Like, it's just like,
bravo.
You can't be tamed. At that point in time, when you're in there, you cannot let yourself be tamed. And any type of logic, it's like, I've never seen a group of wolves, like, they try to do the hybrid huskies or whatever. No, that's a pup. That's a dog. That ain't no wolf. Like, you can't tame a regular one. And also, shout out to my boy Darion Caldwell. He's wrestling tomorrow. His nickname is the Wolf, and I'm like, you see, that's why you my man,
right?
Because it's like, you know, he's like, it's just a whole different mindset. And I feel like sometimes, like, with other like, people are just there to, like, yes, I'm a performer, like, entertainment, you got to perform, but you got to have that tenacity too. So it's just like, this just isn't a performance. Like, I'm trying to do what needs to be done to get to that next level.
Right. So I'm saying you rocking the Gracie gear. So what is your fighting style, and how did you get it? How did you develop your fighting style?
All right. So like I said, I'm from Rahway. Pretty much, I was born out in Staten Island. I lived out there, but was going to school over here for a little while, and then we finally made the full move over here. And I started wrestling. And from wrestling, I think I was in 5th grade, was the first time I started wrestling. From 5th grade up, like, one thing about the Rahway style of wrestling, we never had, like, we'd always have a couple of technical good wrestlers that it was like, yeah, no, that dude is, like, technical. Like, he'll break it down.
Right.
But the one thing other schools didn't really know how to handle with us was the fact that we were rugged. Like, you would take a kid, like, shout out to Coach Stuber. Coach Stube was like, he should get an award for recruiting. Stube would be outside of the basketball practices. Everybody that got cut, hey, come on to the restroom. Let's go. So my wrestling room was always full. And I mean, like, Rahway is not the roughest area, but we had we had some rugged dudes.
Right.
So it was just like, so you got a bunch of rugged, athletic kids that pretty much scoop up all the football players. Hey, it helps you with your breakdown for your tackles. All right, come on. All, like, you got us all in there, and we were a scrappy bunch. So it was always like, if you were in a tournament and you saw you had a Rahway kid on your like, you had to wrestle the Rahway kid, it was, damn, yo, he gonna be strong. He's either gonna be fast. Like, I don't know what's going on, but it was gonna be a hard match. And that's just the same mentality I kept through that wrestling, going to freestyle state champion, then going to nationals, finishing top. I finished top 16 my senior national year. So it was just like, my thing was, wrestling was my main background, and then I went into the military for a little while. So while I was in the military, we started doing combative training. So combative training was really hand-to-hand combat with a mix of jiu-jitsu. So while I was doing that, while I was in school in the military, I was winning a lot of tournaments. And they're just like, yo, you ever like think of like fighting? I'm like, man, the motherfucker's crazy. Like, I'm not, like in my head, I'm like, yo, they're crazy.
Right, right.
It's just like I'm doing it, but I'm good at it. I'm not losing. I'm still winning. I'm like, all right, like it is what it is. So when I finally finished my time in the military, I came home, and one of my close friends, Danny, was like, yo, bro, I think you should just do it. Like, look at all, and at the time, all the UFC champions were all wrestlers. They all had a wrestling background except for Anderson Silva. So it was like, he's like, yo, wrestlers are dominating the game. You might as well go out there and go do it.
Nice.
So my thing was, I was always logical with everything. I was like, all right, yeah, street fighting is different than fighting. I don't like, he's not about to kick me in my leg and I can't walk no more. So I gotta find somewhere where I can learn good stand-up. So that's when, at the time, it was called Camp Salak. I started doing my Muay Thai there. So I picked up Muay Thai.
Well, hold on. So, for our audience, what is Muay Thai? That's like what is elbows and kicks, or what is that fighting?
Right, so Muay Thai is called the art of 8 limbs. So where you use your fists, elbows, knees, and kicks. So it's 4. You got 2 of them. You about to make this work. And with Muay Thai, it's more of like I always felt like Muay Thai was more of like a bully kind of. Because if you watch a traditional Muay Thai fight, like, they don't care. Like, there's no head movement. It's literally, I'm going to go, you're going to go, and I'm going to show you I'm better than you.
That's like blood sport. I'm sorry. I used to watch blood sport. He was Muay Thai, and,
the one dude, yes.
That was badass.
That was in there. Yo, like, I've watched it. I'm like, yo, this dude is not. And it's literally, pop, pop, pop.
Quick. Yeah.
You go, pop. I'm like, yo, like, slide, move off. Like, you don't have to take that kick. But it was just a different type of style. So what I did with that, I made it into my style. You're not punching me in my face for free. I don't like getting hit. So I'm going to move. So I use my Muay Thai style, but I will be moving while I do that. So then also, we were connected with the Renzo Gracie Academy. So the first school I went to was in Newark, New Jersey. It was Bittencourt. And it was the jiu-jitsu school, playing just straight jiu-jitsu. So that's where I started picking up jiu-jitsu, and I was like, all right. And one thing was very hard for being a wrestler, because what they teach you is you never want to be on your back as a wrestler, because then you get pinned. But then in jiu-jitsu, it's okay to be on your back.
You won't be on your back, yeah.
Work off your back.
Right.
Yeah. So I spent my first 2-3 months getting choked out because I go on my back and I'm like, nah, this ain't good. And then homeboys on my back like a spider monkey talking about tap out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you got me. So it was more the fact of my wrestling background than going into jiu-jitsu, going into Muay Thai, and then building the jiu-jitsu. So I'm an all-around fighter, because you can be great in one point. You can be the best wrestler. Look at it, Ben Askren versus Jorge Masvidal. Ben Askren is probably the best MMA wrestler to ever do it.
I say one of the best
was knocked out in 5 seconds by Jorge Masvidal, because all he did was wrestle.
That was it.
So it's like, so you gotta, for one thing, that's why they call it mixed martial arts. You have to be able to mix it up. Even if you're using the art, like for some people, I like to use my wrestling to keep the fight standing. So if I feel like I'm better than you on my feet, I'm going to use my defensive wrestling to keep the fight upright, and I'm going to continue doing the fight standing. If I feel like I can take you down, I'm going to take you down. And that's one thing that I felt that being a wrestler had a great opportunity, because I could control where the fight went. If you punching on me and I know you ain't got no wrestling defense, I'm taking you down. You can try to punch me from your back, but you're not going to be
going down.
Like, I'm going to take you down, and we're about to grapple. So
wait, so you got some ground game?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I'm out here doing my thing.
Okay, so what's the submission move? What's the ones you've tried?
Oh, my favorite is the
Your
Darce
favorite? The who?
My favorite is the Darce choke. I got a Darce choke, guillotine finish. I got an armbar finish. Yeah, I mean, and
you're just a modern day badass. Sound like I got jujitsu, I got this, I got an armbar, I got a triangle, I got. God damn! You got a Subway sandwich too?
Nah, but I feel like the best part of being attached to a Renzo Gracie school is the fact that, like, when you see, like, because it might sound, fuck it. Some schools just go out there and, like, some guys, they're really not their belt. They just give belts out. Like, when you are, like, if you're going against someone from any of a Renzo Gracie, if you're going against somebody from a Renzo Gracie Academy and you see them wearing that belt, they have earned that belt. Like, they make you go through it to then get that belt because they want you, like, at the end of the day, you're representing their name. So, like, you see guys, and you're like, oh yeah, like, sometimes you'll hear that you just, oh yeah, nah, that dude's not really a blue belt or this and this and that. He's a high level this and that.
Okay, you did the time.
Yeah, so what they make sure
the connection. I need you to get the connection. You got to stand on that 1 foot again because you get digitized.
You don't hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
There we go. What I was saying was it was like once you're a part of a Renzo Gracie, any Renzo Gracie Academy, they make sure that you are at that level before you get that belt. So when you get that belt, you know you are at that level.
Okay. So, wow, that's impressive. Man, that's impressive. But I can only make out bits and pieces because you're like, it was computer. I don't know what service you got out there. But so we're back on this experience out there. You're in a fight. You're very diverse. So, do you remember your first punching them out? Mike Tyson was a fighter, and he said everyone got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget it because it freaked me out because I didn't feel it, and it was my third because my first 2 fights went very fast, so I didn't get hit in the first 2 fights. My third amateur fight, I was fighting this kid, and it was 10 minutes from my house. So it was packed. Like, I had the place all the way packed.
Nice.
And I'm fighting this kid. And at one point in time, we trade. And me, like I said, I don't like getting hit. And I don't know if it was just the energy or what was going on. I got into a back and forth, all right, I guess in my head, I guess it was the macho thing. I was like, yo, he tried me. You really are trying to stand in front of me. I'm not a puncher.
Right.
So so I didn't feel it, but we're going back and forth. I hit him, and I see him, kind of step back a little bit. And he went to throw, hard overhand. So when I took him down. When I took him down, the organization I was fighting for, it was Ring of Combat. At that fight, they had a white mat. So I look down and I see blood droplets all over the mat. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I cut him. Where is that? I'm looking for the cut. I'm like, where's that? Where's that? I try to breathe and I'm like, I can't.
Whoa.
I'm like, oh, I put my hand up, my nose is gushing blood. I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on? I looked over at the coach at the time, and he's like, because he knows,
you don't like to get in?
Red. So I was like, he's like, and there's certain rules, you can't, for amateur in New Jersey, you can't punch in the head on the ground. You can't elbow in the head on the ground. Coming from a Muay Thai background, if I'm in danger, I'm going back to it.
Right.
So I look up, and where I took him down, we were in my corner.
No.
So I'm like, I look up, and he's like, Shedrick, calm down. Look at my face.
You're like, somebody got to answer for this.
So then I just post up and I start hitting him with knees to the body, going like that. I'm like, yo, my face. He goes, and it was probably so the round ends. We get to the corner, and there was some difficulties with the ring on my walkout. At one point in time, I guess, like one of the wood pieces were shifted. Okay. So when I went in the cage the first time, I felt it, and there was a dip in the mat. So they took us out the cage to go back to the back, and they fixed it. When we went back, my coach had left the Q-tips in the back. So the second time we came out, when that actually happened, he's like, oh, where's the Q-tip? He's not used to me getting hit, so it wasn't really like a big thing for him. Right. And he goes, and he looks me in my face, and like, you can see some concern on his face. I'm like, damn, like, did he like mess me up? He's like, this is about to be uncomfortable. And I'm like, what? So he has his glove on, and he takes his pinky and puts it in the Vaseline to then clog the nose from the blood. It's not a Q-tip, it's his fat ass finger.
So, you look like you woke up Coach Lee. You awake down there? You ain't driving with your eyes closed, huh? You awake?
I'm like, oh. He's like, don't worry about that. We're going to go out there. We're going to finish the fight this round. And I'm like, all right. Went out there. I ended up finishing the fight that round. And I'm like, okay. Hey, makes sense.
So, one thing is like with fighters, like especially with kids growing up, street kids. Once they figure out they got D's, can't tell them nothing. Yeah. So how do you keep that with staying humble? How do you manage that? You know what I'm saying? Because you walk in the room, you be like, because even myself, I'll be like, you know what, I could get you. I could take you. You might be a champ. I could take you too. But being able to go in and be like, I'll whoop all you mofos. How do you remain humble?
I stay humble by going and finding guys that are better. Because at the end of the day, if this is how you look, you never want to be a big fish in a small pond, because then you won't grow. So, well, most of the time, if I know this guy got better than me, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep going with you, because, and that's the competitive side in me too, because I'm like, not about to be beating me up. Like, let's say you go off one day, and we're gonna keep going. And, like, I'm about to build, and we're gonna be, if not me passing you, at the same damn level to where we're stalemating now. Because, like, and that was one thing that most guys, like, some guys get so caught into the having yes men around them, man. Oh yeah, no, you're doing that great. Yeah, you're great. No, I need to get my ass beat, because then I know I'm learning. If I'm getting beat up, and if I'm going there and I'm washing everybody that I'm going against, what am I learning? You're not learning anything, because now I'm doing the same exact thing because I know it works. What happens when I walk into a cage and I do that thing and he shut it down? I don't exactly. I didn't have to go and try to recalculate or think steps ahead of that. So I go with guys that are at a higher level. I go with guys that are better at certain things than me. But I just posted a video. I was going with my boy Wallow. He's been striking way longer than me. I started catching up, and it's like, all right, but since he's been doing it longer, he knows little tricks in here. So now it got my mind going. I gotta learn. All right, this didn't work this time. I'm gonna do this to go here, and this is all live while we're still going. And that's one thing people are. It goes on to my next point with fighting. A lot of people think fighting's all physical, all this other shit. Fighting is, I would say, 80% mental and 20% physical. Right. If your mind's not right, you will get washed. I don't care who you are. You could be the best person in the world. If your mind is not right, it's going to be an ugly night for you.
Talking about, well, what'd you say? My fault. I wanted to give this highlight right here, while we're talking your high. Right here. You remember this moment?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for these two warriors. Referee Brian Minor is going to start for this contest at 2 minutes 52 seconds of round number 1. Giving you your winner by Dr. Stoppage, Shedrick Goodridge.
So, was that one of your highs? How do you standing in that moment right there?
It's a different kind of feel, because that was like, for that fight there, the dude I fought is actually one of my close friends. That's like my boy, and it was wild how our fight came up, because at one point in time, like literally, I think we went on.
Well, I think we got a question from Twitch. This for you, Coach Lee. I think they're asking, are you Kimbo Slice? Well, no, hey, that's how it shows. That's how we go, man. We engage the artists. We, it's 2-way, 3-way, all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so finish yours.
I got a question.
All right.
It's just me from the outside looking in, but I've always been curious. Do you worry about getting the cauliflower ear?
No, honest. See, where's some wood, man? Because you about to, my ear gonna look crazy next time. Knock on wood.
Cause
I've been wrestling my whole life. I've been wrestling my whole life, and literally just because, remember Coach Stu, he had the illest cauliflower ear, and just from seeing his ear, I was like, nah, I'm not. No. Oh my goodness. I couldn't. Like they used to get on me in practice, and I put my headgear on. I'm like, no, I'm not. Nope. Like even with like we're doing, I'm like, no, you're not mushing my ear in that. My ears are still good. No cauliflower.
You like, look, not a stain on me, huh? Not a stain on me.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't. Oh my goodness, it's just pow. They're like, yeah, it adds character. You can keep that character. My ears are good.
Oh man, that's funny. That's so. One thing. You talking about the guy that you was fighting, but during my MMA fight that I went to see, it was crazy. So it was a black guy and a white guy. They were fighting, and the black guy beat the white guy, and everybody wanted to fight. It wasn't a deal. It was like his camp wanted to fight the camp. So it's like, how that, is that something that's always at these fights? Because, people be walking around like that, with a chip on their shoulder. So it's a lot of bravado in the arena. And when one camp loses, it happens.
It's honestly not always like that. Sometimes you get two passionate camps, and it's like, oh, they see their guy, they think their guy walks on roses, they think the other guy walked on water, and they're like, oh, my guy can't get beat, and they feel some type of way when their guy loses. And it also depends on the camp that you're coming from, because at the end of the day, we already get looked at as a barbaric sport. Oh my God, man, shut up. We're modern day gladiators. We're going in there, we're putting all our shit together, and we're making it entertaining for y'all. So when people's camps, first of all, if you've never stepped in a cage and you are not a part of the team, don't be no fan trying to fight other people, because you don't know what fighter is in that crowd and you about to get beat up for free. So it's just for sometimes I'm like, yo, I see it and I'm just like, yo, y'all are tripping. One of my boys, we were down in the fight, and he was winning the fight. He ended up getting caught. And when he got caught, he dropped. But then the ref didn't give him a chance to like get up. Like he was getting up, but the ref stopped the fight. So I'm walking across the side or whatnot, and the dude is like, "Oh, talking to my teammate. Oh, fuck you, you suck." Da 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 da.
Oh wow.
And I'm standing there, and like I said, my hands are rated E for everyone. Anybody can catch him. I go up, I'm like, yo. So what I do is I check him right then and there. I'm like, yo, when's your fight? What? When are you fighting? What? Nah, I don't fight. Let's just shut the fuck up, please. Stop talking. Because you don't know. I'm like, yo, I'm telling you right now, he would dog you out, and I'm still contemplating whether or not I want to dog you out right now because you're not making. Like, who are you to tell a professional athlete? And it's so wild. It's crazy because in MMA is the only sport where you got somebody that's eating chips and chicken wings on a couch.
Man, he did sound like digital love.
Oh, yeah, I'd kick his ass. I would do it like this.
Yeah.
Please tell me the last time you heard someone say, oh, yeah, I tell Adrian Peterson how to cut across the field. Don't worry, I'll wait. Oh, if I was this person, I showed LeBron how to go and drive to the hole. Like, and it's wild because then they feel like, I guess because since we're fighters, they feel like so close, and it's just like, bro, it's not that. Y'all walk into a whole nother thing and forget that we're people. Like, we're people.
Man,
you know what's different? What's different with on the MMA side, though? Like you gave the Adrian Peterson example, the LeBron example. You'll never get to play them in their sport. But you guys, you might have run across them at the bar or something, and they don't have too many, and they get their smoke.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, yeah, you can run across some of us, but like, all right, bam. I went to an after party for one of Luke Rockhold. He fought in Newark, New Jersey. We went to his after party, and I ended up coming across Plaxico Burris. Nice. I'm not telling Plaxico, yo, when you go up for your jump ball, like, bro, you got to box him out. Like, I'm just like, and it's weird because I feel like just because of the fact that we're so close to home, they feel that, oh, yeah, we can have that connection where I can tell you how to do. All right, make it through 5 minutes of one of my intense practices, and I will take all the advice from you. And like you've never been in a Shark Tank. A shark, like, son. That's
a show, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's a show, and it's a horrible experience when you're getting ready for a fight. Let me break down a Shark Tank for you. I'm already cutting weight. I'm already getting down. Here's the Shark Tank. It's a 5-minute round. Each minute, there are 5 dudes standing around. You don't know which one's coming from. Each minute, the fresh guy jumps on top of you. But it doesn't matter what position you are in. If you happen to get into a dominant position, the next guy's time comes up, and he takes your neck, and you have to fight out of that. So, if you can make it through a Shark Tank, I'll take all your advice. Let me know. You making it out. I'm like, oh, all right. You know something I don't. And that's the one thing is just like when you don't like people just see the end game of it. They just see the walkouts, the glam, the this and that. You don't see the evil, the devil, like the shit we have to go through in that gym, getting beat on. Like, I don't feel comfortable going into a fight if I didn't get injured in that camp. Wow. That's how wild it is because, like, there's been times where it's just like, damn, yo, I didn't even get hurt. Roll my ankle. Damn. There we go. It's gonna be a good one. It's like. All right,
so now we got. I want to know the mindset of here. How was it on this one? What was your mindset?
Shedrick Goodridge. I'll be fighting for the Premier FC light heavyweight title. October 19th at the Mass Mutual Center. I prepared for this fight.
Look at the preparation on it. We see the feet work, we see the hips, the movement.
I'm a wrestler too, so I'm not going to really switch much up. I'm just going to keep going at it as I normally do for any of my fights. Wrestling is definitely my strong point in fighting, but I adapt. It's mixed martial arts, so I have to pick up my Muay Thai.
So what was that little running thing for? Because I seen that like, that looked like one of them critters that be on Resident Evil. What was that little move there? You got to tell me about that one.
Yeah. Nah, that's a
quickly. I'm gonna test
you gotta keep your feet moving.
I see the finish. Aaron, I look at it like that. I hope you're putting in training. I will be there trying to finish you. So
you got you have to work. Like the easiest opponent is a stationary opponent. Just say like sometimes I'll catch myself and all have tendencies. All fighters have tendencies. You lying if you say you don't. We all do. How you adapt to your tendency and switch off of that, that's what makes you a different fighter. So there'll be times I'll sit there and I'll catch myself like mid-10, I'm like, oh, and then I'll just do something.
Right.
Just out the blue. Like, oh, my hands up. You're like, what are you doing? Because you can't, once they start reading your movements, now you're easier to get hit. And now you look at that, all right, I did a movement, I just got hit. And now, not only is my footwork messed up, you just punched me in my shit. So now I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? Right. So now you got to get I just feel like the most work is just keep your mind right, keep moving. You got to
keep moving. So, thinking. So we get ready to get up out of here. Because we got some other fighters. We got amateur fighters in the group. Shout out to you, Sports Talking Friends. It's someone inspiring fighters. What would you, how would you advise them to get into sport? Because our first fight was find a good gym. But what would be some good suggestions? Maybe 3.
Don't stop. Keep going and believe in your shit. At the end of the day, if I could tell you how many people told me that I was going to be out here getting beat up, I was like, it's different. Those motherfuckers is different. Motherfucker, I'm different. Now what?
Nice.
Nice. I'm different. They talk about all, and one thing I hate using with all the haters, use it as motivation. If you're going to say something, if you're going to put yourself, and another thing, be all in. Don't be half-stepping in that cage because it is an unforgiving. You will end up as a meme, a highlight. You will forever be, that's one thing. You will forever be on someone else's highlight if you walk into that cage half-assed. I don't care if the motherfucker goes and loses 13 fights straight. Guess what? You're still on his highlight. So you gotta be all in.
Nice.
Outside distractions, yes, we're all human. At the beginning stage, the bread is hard to come by. It's not so you do have to work and do this, but set yourself up to the point to where you can put yourself all in, and when you're in a camp for a fight, you're in that camp for that fight. Nice. You don't want to be
I'm gonna tell you, I was all over Google. I was all over Apple TV looking for Bellator MMA Live 95. One of them. Did you make that Bellator MMA?
Yeah.
I could not find that episode.
It's on YouTube.
I'm telling you. So, tell the fans, our viewers, where can we find you? How, what's your social media? How can we find you? How can we get that shirt? Everybody.
There we go. All right. So my Twitter and my Instagram is CT Goodridge, which is spelled GOODRIDGE _185. That's for my Twitter and my Instagram. Facebook, Shedrick Goodridge. Name's out there. My fights are on YouTube. I'm out here.
Just
out here.
Out here. That's what we saying. We out here.
Put the name out in Google. You see me pop up. I'm out here.
Hey, look, thanks for hanging out, man. For hanging out, we give complimentary, sports talk with friends shirts. So, I don't know, you ain't wearing no mask out there, so I don't know how bad COVID is, but we got.
I got my mask right here. I got my mask right here.
Next show, we will see you follow it up with the sports talk with friends. So,
yes,
after the show, we're gonna definitely get that information. But any shout outs before we get up out of here?
Oh yeah, of course. I want to give a huge shout out, of course. Enzo Gracie, Jersey City, my man Sparky. He's out here doing really, really big things. Like with his new gym and whatnot, starting up his team. A lot of good names are gonna come out of there. Want to give a shout out to Maha Fighting. It's one of my sponsors. Eat Clean Bro, Vape Beast. Where we at? Oh, we got iFight UK. We got. What else we got? Oh, New Jersey Nutrition. They help a lot with my weight cuts. I need that. New Jersey Nutrition. I love ya. Oh, my boys. All right, if you want that shirt, Warfare Inc. My Warfare Inc. Jake, yo, I've been riding with that dude from the gate. Like amateur, like we all started from the beginning, and going through ups and downs, still held me down. He's going through ups and downs, still held him down. That's one of my day ones. Warfare Inc. Also got to give a shout out to it's called Lash 1111. Females out there, sometimes you gotta get your lashes done.
Nice.
Looking a little crazy. Go, my girl Nikki up. She'll look you out. You'll be all right.
We won't keep that New Jersey, that East Coast sauce, man. You know what? We're going to let you end our show. So, look, this is doing Uncle Leroy. Don't say the Leroy without the Junior. And I'm out. We giving the reins on to you, Shedrick.
All right. I appreciate you guys for having me on the show. Love it all. Hey, if you're an aspiring fighter, go out there and do your thing. Always push forward. Don't ever let anyone else tell you you can't do it, because guess what? They're not in your shoes. Cedric Chocolate Thunder Goodridge. I'm out here. Rahway, New Jersey. Team Enzo Gracie. I'm out.